America's biggest race baiter converts to Islam. Okay, so this is one of those situations where do you remember like the Joanne the scammer like meme? Like scammer, like this is we're talking about a notorious scammer situation. Okay. Controversial activist Shaun King, once a prominent Christian pastor in the Black Lives Matter movement, has sparked fresh outrage by converting to Islam alongside his wife, citing Gaza's faith and devotion amid Israel's deadly military offensive as inspiration, even as the move renews long-standing scrutiny around King's opaque finances and trail of abandoned charitable initiatives. Videos showing King reciting the Muslim shahada at a Texas mosque went viral, but his conversion follows years of allegations that he mishandles fundraising, from the millions raised for his Grassroots Law Project after George Floyd's murder, with claims of excessive self compensation, to his clothing line labeled a scam over unfulfilled orders. Though rebuffing such claims, King has repeatedly drawn skepticism over lucrative racial justice ventures that fizzled out, like his failed relaunch of Frederick Douglass's iconic liberatory journalistic newspaper called the North Star. His newest controversy, embracing Islam while voicing strident support for Palestinians over the 30,000 that have been killed, then promptly announcing an uncensored Iftar tour, has rekindled accusations that King exploits causes for profit and inflamed critics already questioning his motives, transparency, and even his biracial identity. Okay, so there is so much to get into here. And here's the thing, you guys, I feel a little bit giddy right now because I love some classic, like, expose him content. Okay. And I spent a lot of time yesterday just refreshing my memory of the over 10 years of grifting, scam, inauthentic behavior of this man. And there is like, there's too much to get into. There is, his history is so long that I literally can't get into it all. He has over 10 years of credible allegations of taking money and not doing what he said he was going to do with it for over a decade. So I'm just going to start with giving a background for people that are not familiar with this man. Because if you're American, you've probably heard this name before. Um, and by the way, I actually don't think he's America's biggest race baiter. Technically, I think America's biggest race baiter is Tariq Nasheed. And we should maybe do a profile on Tariq Nasheed one day because he's a piece of work. So I'm gonna put Shaun King as second race baiter and like Rachel Dolezal as third because a lot of people think that Shaun King is a male Rachel Dolezal. For people who don't know who that is, Rachel Dolezal is a white woman that pretended to be black to work for a black civil rights organization for years as a fraud. So here's the situation. Shaun King came to prominence after the murder of Michael Brown in Ferguson in 2014. And he came to prominence as kind of a journalist and a racial justice activist. Um, Care Uninvited it. Oh my God, please star that so I can circle back to that. Okay. And he was he did a lot of work to try to like bring awareness to police brutality, to unarmed black civilians that were being killed by the police, like wrongful deaths, that kind of things. And some people in He was really active on Twitter, and some people really appreciated what he was doing to bring these issues to light and really amplify these voices and these people that were being killed and people affected by these issues, etc., etc. Okay. However, like I said, he has had a very long history of taking money and then not doing what he said he was going to do with it. So this includes seems to have a history of just starting charitable organizations like left, right, and center. And then I was going through the laundry list because, guys, I'm not the only people that say this. You can go find long, long, long lists where people have documented his activities, right? And so he would start a new organization, raise a bunch of money for it. When people would complain or have concerns or the volunteers wouldn't be happy, he would just kick them out. When people had money, ask questions about where the money was going, he would just dissolve the entire organization. And this happened again and again and again and again. And to the point that there are many, many, many people within the Black Lives Matter movement, to their credit, because even some of the biggest Black Lives Matter activists from the official BLM organization, I think themselves are scammers. Again, there are many people that are people of integrity within the Black Lives Matter movement who have been calling out these actors for years. Like, a lot of people have criticism of the Black Lives Matter movement, including myself, but I have to give credit to the many, many people in the Black community for really calling out a lot of these activists who have taken this cause as their mantle and used it to fill their pockets. People so I want people to understand how unpopular this man is in the Black community. They do not co-sign him by and large. They've been calling him out for years. They do not affiliate with him for years. They refuse to work with him for years because he does not have integrity. He does not follow through on what he says he's going to do with charitable funds that are raised that are supposed to be for the cause of the betterment of a community that is dealing with a very serious issue. Instead, people just don't know where the money goes over and over and over again. And it got to the point that people started questioning if he's Black. So here's the thing. There it's a delicate thing to get into. I personally have looked into the allegations, and I also have questions about the nature of his racial identity. And I thought about getting into it here, but I changed my mind because I've seen a lot of people who are biracial who go through the experience of having their ethnic identity completely like uh, basically like weaponized against them by the community that they actually belong to just because they don't look the way that you're supposed to look, quote unquote, to belong to that community, right? And I've seen how, like, hurtful it is and how devastating it is to a lot of biracial people to be completely excluded just because of the nature of how they look and their phenotype, which is, like, not within their control. So, although I think that there are a stupid amount of hilarious jokes that people make about Shaun White's ethnicity, excuse me, Shaun King. Oh my god, Freudian slip. Um, although there's a lot of genuinely really funny jokes about it, I don't wanna get into the nature of his racial identity, mainly for the benefit of other biracial people who are watching, because it's super I actually think it's really, really ugly behavior when people act that way. So, moving on. So, anyways, there's a lot of criticism you could have about the Black Lives Matter, uh, kind of movement or that vein, that field, so to speak. But one of the things you have to give them credit for is that they have been calling this man out and asking him to not organize and do charitable fundraising since as early as 2015. For almost 10 years, they have been calling major figures have been calling him out and saying, "Stop trying to organize if you cannot follow through. Stop fundraising if you cannot follow through." And his defense for himself would be, okay, just because I was not successful, just because I did not deliver does not mean that I'm scamming. But people are like, if you are never able to follow through, then you just shouldn't be a leader. And that's okay. So please stop trying to be a leader and taking people's money if you are not, or if you say that you're this unsuccessful, right? So he fell out of favor within the Black Lives Matter movement and he kind of fell out of prominence. And then with Israel's war on Hamas, suddenly Shaun King comes roaring back and he takes up the Palestinian cause as his newest thing because suddenly he has a new audience that probably is not as familiar with his history. And along those lines, very soon after getting involved with this cause, he suddenly converts to Islam. And a lot of people took issue with this because when Shaun King was in the Black Lives Matter movement, he used his position as a pastor to help him gain credibility within the Black community. Because the Black community, as a generalization, especially in other like parts of America, gives a lot of credence and a lot of community respect to people who lead in the role of pastor. Right? There's a very strong tradition of like what's the word I'm looking for? Being a Methodist, Methodism, whatever, or evangelical pastoralship like in the Black community. And so that position gave him a lot of credibility. And now suddenly he converts to Islam. And he converts to Islam and then he gets there. Okay, guys, he got involved with this cause like as of October and he's already scamming again. Like it's crazy, Armin. Like this just happened, and I already have like I have like several items I already need to go through with his bad behavior. It's textbook. So he conversed Islam with his wife, and okay, he gets banned from Instagram. And he says that he got banned from Instagram because of his defense of the Palestinian people. Okay. He got banned from Instagram because he was praising the brave men of Yemen for holding the Israeli regime or whatever accountable. On Instagram, you are not allowed to encourage criminal or terroristic behavior. So, you are not allowed to praise the Houthis because that's what he was doing. He was just this progressive activist. Again, like, be a little bit less predictable, please. Uh, was praising the Houthis just with his full chest on Instagram. You're not allowed to do that. That's a violation of the terms of service. So he puts out a video like cry bullying over, oh my God, I got banned for defending this. Yeah. So, oh my God. So then what happened is not only there's I feel like so much nonsense is filling my brain right now. I can't even talk. So the craziest part was Armin. He okay, I'll leave the best for last. I'll leave the best for last. Okay. So what he immediately started doing was he started trying to raise money for this thing called Uncensored Iftar. And this was basically where you pay like $60 to $100 to go do like an iftar celebration with him. And what's so schemy is that he put out a flyer saying that he was going to go on this tour of Uncensored Iftar with this other guy, Khalid Badoun, who apparently himself is sketchy. I don't know his background. People know what the what the T is on Khalid Badoon, please let me know. But the original poster that they put out included the rapper Macklemore. Macklemore is this rapper from Seattle who's taken up the Palestinian cause, and saying that Macklemore was gonna be touring with them, and then Macklemore put out a statement saying, "Just to be transparent, I pulled out of this earlier in this week. A dear friend was putting on the fundraiser. All proceedings, my understanding, are going to the families in Palestine. I never felt comfortable centering myself on the flyer. Lessons learned moving forward." So that means that they put out the flyer knowing that this rapper, who was the biggest name on here, had pulled out earlier. So they're already using the name of someone who they know pulled out to advertise and then get ticket sales. Okay, that's sketchy thing number 2. Number 1, there is other, um, allegations of many different instances where he's been raising money for, Gaza or Palestine that people are like, "Wait a second, where's the money going to?" People are already like, "Wait a second, like, are" so in a couple of other instances where he's raising money for Gaza, people are already, like, asking, like, "Wait a second, where's this money actually going?" But I'm not gonna get into those details. The craziest thing is Armin. Okay, Armin, I want you to brace yourself. Look at me. Hold on to your seat. He put out a statement inferring, saying that he helped to free 2 American hostages from Hamas.
What?
Yes.
What?
He said that he worked with Hamas for the release of 2 American hostages, Natalie
He works
Renan,
with Hamas.
Judith Ty Renan. However, the Renan family said King was never involved and to not believe what he said. A
What
man known in
the
social
hell?
justice circles has claimed to have helped with the release of 2 American hostages amid the Israel-Hamas conflict, but the family is calling BS. Shaun King has been trending all week over a post he threw up on Friday, which seemed to be him taking credit, at least in part, for the safe return of Judith Renan and her teenage daughter, Natalie Renan. Um,
How
oh my god.
how does he respond to the fact that the families are saying no, he had nothing to do with it?
Why would you
He's in
respond?
touch with Hamas. Oh,
Here's what he said. Here's his quote exactly. Hamas has just freed the teenager Natalie Renan and her mother. I'm grateful. As I said last week, Natalie and her family have been supporters of mine and protested police violence in America alongside us. I'm so thankful for the Qatari government for helping to negotiate this. Dozens of us worked frantically behind the scenes to make this possible. I spoke to Natalie's family this afternoon and they're anxiously awaiting more updates. Well, his version of events apparently doesn't quite line up with what the Renans family are aware of because they are saying that they straight up don't know this guy. The family released a statement saying, "Today we came across a bizarre post on Instagram page of one Shaun King, who turns out to have millions of followers, who claims that our relative Natalie Renan supports the anti-Israeli messages he uploads on his page." The family goes on, quote, "First and foremost, we make it clear that he is lying. Our family does not and did not have anything to do with him, neither directly nor indirectly. Not to him, not to anything he claims to represent." They go on to say that Natalie has never met Shaun, that she first learned about him today amid the speculation, um, and that, yeah, it's all lies and misinformation. And now, as for King, he's already defending himself by now sharing who exactly he spoke with. And as it turns out, he says it was a brother of Natalie's who's going to post receipts of a conversation he had with the guy, detailing his efforts to have her free. He also claims that he just spoke to the Renan family, presumably the same person who released this blistering statement, and insists that they're being forced to distance themselves from him.
amazing. The,
So this is like, I I have no words. Like the narcissism. The narcissism that you're like, "Oh, yeah, like, I'm so happy these hostages got freed," and you know who there's to thank for it? Me, because I was working so hard behind the scenes.
The amazing thing is that it doesn't matter. It keeps working because there's enough people that will not hear of the response. I think that that's what these people have discovered, people like him, is that it doesn't matter if you're caught and people call you out. There will always be enough people that will not know what's actually going on. And honestly, taking advantage of the Muslim community is very smart. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you've been called out as a scammer. If you are a big name that converts to, being a Muslim, all the many people in the Muslim community have to see like, oh, big name converts to Islam. That's already a win. It doesn't matter what your past was. It doesn't matter what your that they were like, oh my god, this is fantastic. They will just jump on this bandwagon and they will celebrate you. And he's discovering how profitable that is to just be a big name convert to Islam. Because you will get immediately a giant community of supporters that do not ask questions if
Well,
you
not
do
to
that.
mention the fact that converting to Islam forgives all your previous sins, so that's very convenient. But,
That's right. Yeah.
um and Armin, here's the thing, I know there are tons of people, especially who were in, like, the Black Lives Matter space who were posting about him, and because like, with the progressive activism, like, they're very much aligned with the Palestinian cause, right? So but they are posting and screaming at the top of their lungs to the Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian communities, like, "Do not trust this guy. We know about this guy. We've been warning everyone about him for years." Like, they're screaming, like, "Don't do it, he's bad." um and then the other thing is, I know that it's working because I was doing some investigation last night and, like, looking up his name on YouTube and comparing. And, like, if you look at the views with videos of his names as of, like, 3 years ago, it's really low. And then you look up the views of new videos with his name about him converting to Islam and, like, him giving statements about the power of Islam and blah, 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 hundreds of thousands.
Yes. Yes, guys.
It's
You
textbook.
guys know. Guys, should we do this? Because imagine, Susie, an atheist channel that has been doing atheism. Like we could like make this channel very profitable if we just tomorrow, Susie comes with a hijab, right? Right. I come, I don't know, with like whatever, and we start like do the shahada here live on air. That would be so good for the channel. You know, so many Muslims are like, oh my god, an atheist channel converting to Islam. That would boost our numbers. It's like that. We change it from Atheist Republic to the Islamic Republic. The Islamic Republic name has already been taken. The
That's
Yeah,
true, and we actually legitimately really hate that Islamic Republic.
right. Yeah, yeah. Well, we don't care. Like if we wanted to, no, never mind. I'm gonna stop saying that. But anyways, I wanted to take advantage of this time right now to share
Mm.
something, but because we're talking about Black Lives Matter, and we're now talking about um people being anti-Israeli and anti-Jewish and
Oh,
anti-Semitic.
no. Oh, no. Is it
No,
what
no,
I think it
no,
is?
no, 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 no. It's good. It's wholesome. This is wholesome. Okay,
Okay, okay.
because the OG black rights activist, okay,
Oh.
happened happened to be a Zionist, guys. Happened to be a Zionist. I just want a lot of people who are active within the BLM movement and a lot of people who celebrate the actual king, not this king, not Shaun King, but the real king, right? This guy, okay? I want more people to be familiar with his views on Israel, okay? Because this is pretty based, okay? So let's see what the our king, okay? That was Shaun King. Let's see what our king has to say here. Listen to this.
The whole world must see that Israel must exist and has a right to exist and is one of the great outposts of democracy in the world. My Jewish brothers and sisters said to me amid anti-Semitism anywhere, we don't need your support, we have enough Jewish power to deal with this problem ourselves. I would still take a stand against anti-Semitism because it's wrong, it's unjust, and it's evil. If my Catholic brothers and sisters said to me, amid bigotry toward Catholics, we don't need your support in this because we have enough Catholic power to deal with it, I would still take a stand against bigotry toward Catholics because it is wrong, it is evil, and it is unjust.
Anyways, but one more time, the first sentence, the whole world must see. This is Martin Luther King, this quote. Don't forget this quote. The whole world must see that Israel must exist. Okay? Show this to all the progressives these days. Okay? Because this will, a lot of them don't know this. A lot of them don't know that this was the position of MLK. The whole world must see that Israel must exist.
The world must see that Israel must exist and has a right to exist.
And has the right to
and is one of
exist.
the great outposts of democracy in the world.
That was fantastic. That was beautiful. Anyways, did people? I want to know. People in the live chat. Did you know this about MLK? Did you know that MLK was a Zionist? Did you know that he was this base?
Well, because what a lot of people don't understand is how the civil rights movement in the United States was so heavily supported. Like the amount of Jewish activism involved in movements for the sake of Black liberation in the United States can like not be understated. The Jewish American community really used so much of their experience to inform their solidarity with the Black community. The history goes so deep.
Oh, a lot of people didn't know. A lot of people didn't know. I'm glad that guys, make sure you tell people this, okay? I'm glad that I made. I'm glad that I showed this to a guy because.
And it's kind of
Anyways,
funny
you
when
wanted
they're
me.
like, oh, we should change our name to the Islamic Republic because I'm literally wearing this shirt today.
Oh yeah, Jumhuriya Bi Khudayan. So that guy, that Jumhuriya Bi Khudayan is Persian for Atheist Republic. That's the T-shirt that Susie is wearing, and that's the name of our Persian channel.
Yes, actually, I love this shirt so much. I think it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Oh, the link to it.
Yeah, because I think I can't remember, one of our community members did this calligraphy, and I just think it's so beautiful.
Show it again. Show it again. Yes, there we go. That says Jumhuriya Bi Khudayan. That's, guys, look, that's Atheist Republic in Persian. It looks really pretty. We should do an Arabic version of it as well.
I know. I had a friend make me an Arabic version, but they just did it on a sheet of paper. But I want actually like merch. So if you guys
by the way,
of our beautiful Persian calligraphy merch, I put the link in the live chat.
Before we have some super chats, and speaking of super chats, okay, we have been demonetized.
What?
Well, yeah, we have been demonetized for a while right now, so it's gone, and it's gone, as we usually say here. But we don't care because we already got a lot of super chat from you people, especially from Angel, and we're getting so many other super chats from other people as well, and that just makes up for the fact that we don't have to worry about YouTube's monetization because of all your super chats. So thank you guys. Yeah, and it's gone, exactly. Anyways, so let's do the super chats while I get the next news.
Yes. Okay. Neo Mirmian said, has circumcision done for this new Muslim? Oh.
He's talking about.
I don't know. I don't.
He's talking about this new.
I don't know.
We will check. We will send a team.
Although, to be honest, circumcision is like very normative in North America, so there's a high chance he was already circumcised.
He's already circumcised.
Yeah,
yes. But we will verify it.
Same. They CARE uninvited him to one of their events. If CARE is already not associating with you, you know it's bad.
Yeah.
If CARE, who has some very credible, very, very serious allegations against them, is already like,
Right.
no, 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 this guy's too much. That this is persona non grata.
Do you know who makes the most amazing, gorgeous, and other adjectives that I can't use here on YouTube, blasphemous art ever? We do! And for some reason, we are giving it away for free. Download them now using the link in the description before we change our mind.